Welcome back to the proning procedures. We're now going to demonstrate moving a prone patient from the hospital bed onto the stretcher, and Sean's going to talk us through the steps.
Okay, so same thing in the proning video. We're going to come in and we're going to do our patient assessment and we're going to do our patient prep. So the first thing is assessing the patient. How are they tolerating the position? How are they hemodynamically and respiratory wise? And I'm going to look at my airway again. So it's just like before, I'm going to make sure that the patient's tube is in the proper position, and I'm also going to make sure it's secured really well. One problem here is if you do need to resecure the tube, you're actually going to have to supine the patient to resecure the tube. You really can't get to the access that you need, so don't try to retape a tube while the patient is prone. Make sure you supine the patient. So if everything is good there, we're again going to be assessing our hemodynamic status. There's not going to be as many fluid shifts this time, so a little bit less risk for those massive fluid shifts and hemodynamic instability. But now I'm going to make sure, again, that they're properly sedated and properly paralyzed. And I'm going to tape their eyes closed if they're not already. And then I'm going to, everything should already be off the chest, everything should already be monitoring on the back. So I'm just going to make sure that all my lines and all my tubes are in a good position. And again, minimize whatever doesn't need to be there, but make sure that they're in a good position. So ideally, lines going off to the lines and tubing going off to the bottom, and your airway coming up the top here. Now the next thing that we're going to do is actually, in addition to the prep, now we're going to put the air pal underneath the patient, so that for the transfer itself, we'll actually be able to use the air pal for our lateral transfer. It makes it much easier. So what we're going to do is we'll have our people here, we'll have our air pal ready to go, and we're just going to slightly turn the patient back and forth to get the air pal underneath. So again, somebody at the head of the bed, and you can actually do this procedure with 3 people if that's you have, but more people is always better. So I'm going to get the air pal ready to go. It's nice and rolled. Bridget has rolled it for me so that we can put it easily. And again, the top is going to be at the patient's shoulders. So Amber is going to control the airway and make sure we're coordinating everything. Tuck this down and try to get it in as good a position as possible. And now when we're ready, go ahead, Amber.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
We'll roll back down, and then I will be able to slightly turn the patient towards me.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, so at this point the air pal's ready. Amber's moving the head. I'm probably just going to move the pillow out at this point so that we have enough room to look at the airway and keep the airway in line. Make sure everything is set up, nothing's going to pull, and then we'll get our air pal unit ready. So air pal's already plugged in, and Bridget, if you could go ahead and get this set up on the bottom and control the Now I'm going to line up my stretcher with the bed. So again, even height, and I'm going to make sure that the top of the patient's head is at the top of my stretcher. So once everything's ready to go, actually we still need to, don't forget to actually connect the patient in.
Careful not to do it too tightly.
Yep. Okay, and then make sure everybody ready.
Okay.
Amber, are you in a good position? So if we're all ready, we can go ahead and turn the unit. And again, the whole time Amber's going to be monitoring this airway and holding the patient's head. So now, Amber, are we good? Patient's over. Patient's over. Wait. Alright, so now the patient's on our stretcher, lateral move is completed, and now what we're going to do is we're going to be assessing the airway, making sure there's no kinks or movements in the airway, and getting that airway in the proper position, and then we're going to get the rest of our patient in an optimal position. So first thing, just like before, we've got the Z-Flow pillow. If you don't have this available, you can use regular pillows, but this does make it much easier. So I will go ahead and slide it in as Amber lifts up the head.
1, 2, 3.
I'll slide there. So now it's turned, her head is turned to the towards me, and the pillow's underneath. So now we can disconnect the air pal and make sure that stuff is tucked. And the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put this patient in the little bit of a turn, the swimmer's position. So now Dennis can roll up this sheet,
1, 2, 3.
and we'll just slide the roll right underneath the patient. And now we're in a nice tilted position like we were before. And the rest of the steps are then the same. We will take this arm and put the arm above the head, secure the wrist to the stretcher, and then we can also take and make sure this knee is bent a little bit, and then put both feet on top of a pillow. And this just keeps the toes off the mattress so there's no breakdown there. And then we can make sure everything's tucked. We can put this back in however we need to make sure that these are out of the way. And we'll be able to actually use this once again when we get to the hospital, do that same procedure, remove them right over to the bed. And then we'll just secure with the stretcher straps, we'll secure the patient to the stretcher.
This concludes the video on moving a patient from the prone position from the hospital bed onto the prone position onto the stretcher. Thank you.